What's good, you guys? Your boy B Mahari here, representing Mahari Nation Sports Podcast. Hope y'all been having a good week thus far, and yeah, we're heading to March Madness this upcoming weekend with the obviously with the selection show, whatever, deciding the entire NCAA tournament format, and we're gonna see some crazy basketball for the next 3 to 4 weeks. So strap yourselves up and get ready because we're gonna be seeing some crazy basketball in the weeks ahead. But I'm gonna say my March Madness prediction during the weekend. Have your notifications on, and if you're new to the channel too as well, smash the like button and hit the subscribe button. Make sure to hit the bell icon and hit the all notifications link in the notifications line. So that way you can get all the notifications when I start dropping videos or when I do a live stream, whenever I decide to. But I want to appreciate all those supporters out on my channel too, man. And one more thing too, I just wanted to give a shout out to Stormy B Man for his great interview with me, and I really appreciate the OG for that interview. It was so much fun, and I'll post the link to the interview in the description box if you want to watch it for yourself. But let's get to the subject in hand here, shall we? So, for the last couple of days, I've been, noticing a lot in these YouTube basketball streets the perception of Nikola Jokić. And there's been some, I would rather say there's some hate, and then there's a bit of, resistance into the fact of about Nikola Jokić and how people perceive him as a basketball player and how he should be viewed as one of the best players in the league. So, what kind of got the ball rolling is when JJ Redick and Kendrick Perkins got into a little bit of heated debate in regards to the MVP candidate race on Nikola Jokić. Now, remember, Nikola Jokić is a two-time MVP, and he has the opportunity to win his third consecutive MVP award and join Larry Bird as the only three-time MVP in NBA history. So, already off the bat, there is a huge narrative in Nikola Jokic's favor. But there are some things that I really took from that. Now, what Kendrick Perkins said was that the MVP race is based on race. And some part of me agrees, but there's a large majority of it I don't agree with. Now, I want to make this very, very clear. I don't watch Undisputed. I don't watch First Take because I am a person that always watches the games and have my own narrative and how I see things. And I don't get, side swiped or influenced by anyone on television or anyone on YouTube. Now, just because you have a different opinion does not mean it's not valid, or it doesn't mean that it's not more as valid as the other. I always like to watch things objectively and make my own assessment behind it. Now, do people do not like Jokic because he's white? Of course. Now, there are some people that don't like the European style of basketball. Yeah, absolutely. There are some reasons for that. But I want to get to this whole thing here, and it's going to be on my stance here. For the most part, I really like Nikola Jokic's game. He's one of the best big men in the game, and he's a guy that is not a athletic specimen. Now, he is an athlete in his own way, but he's not like a guy that is going to be jumping out of the gym, explosively. He is a guy that is an excellent post player, great playmaker, excellent passer, can score in the post, he can shoot the ball, he can ball handle too. I mean, he does so many things on the offensive side of the ball that is just outstanding. And I want to make this clear for a lot of people that tend to forget about Jokic and how he started in the league. Let's keep this in mind in this proper context, okay? When Jokic came into the league, okay? When he came into the league, he was not expected to be pretty much of anything, okay? When he got drafted in the second round with the 41st pick by the Nuggets, no one anticipated him having this much impact. You could pretty much say the same thing when it came to Giannis. Nobody anticipated both of these players to be outstanding, all-stars, superstar, MVP caliber players. That's how I look at both of these players. And as time has gone on, as both of them players got to show what they're capable of, we saw their overall talents. And truthfully, I think that people disvalue him because there's been a lot of people that think that he got these MVPs because of his race and because of the narrative around him. Now, I will tell you like this. I do believe that the MVP, the narratives of the MVP always change. I do wish that there is some consistency and a bit of a platform, or I can say maybe a bit of a structure to try to figure out who is the real MVP of the NBA. Now, let's keep in mind in this context, okay? Narratives of MVPs change every year, and it can be more frustrating than others. But at the end of the day, if we always have to go by the same standards of what MVP should be every year, then how are you going to change? How are you going to choose an MVP in a different dialogue? It just doesn't make sense. And the way I look at the whole thing with Jokic here is that there have been some people that have accused him of stat padding. But here's where you can flip the narrative on that. If you're going to accuse Jokic of stat padding, then you're going to have to say the same thing to Russell Westbrook. Yes, I said that. You know why? Because when I watched Russell Westbrook play, when he was averaging them triple doubles, there were a lot of people that did not appreciate Russell Westbrook in terms of how he was playing it and how he was, aka stealing rebounds or setting up assists or trying to get more points. Like those are the kind of things that I look at. Now, I never look at Nikola Jokic as a stat pattern. All right. The man is naturally gifted to what he does on the basketball court. Now, we did see Giannis try to go for a triple double a couple of days ago, and the NBA nicked that. But the problem here is that how are you going to determine if a person is doing it on the spirit of the game or just doing it to stat pad? Now, I did a video about, I think it was like a year ago, where I broke down some of the biggest stat patterns in NBA history. Now, keep in mind, the worst stat pattern I ever seen was Ricky Davis. Yes, tricky Ricky Davis, especially when he tried to get a triple double by intentionally shooting the ball at his own basket and grabbing that rebound to get his triple double. And thankfully, the NBA pretty much declined that particular stat, and he got ripped to shreds for it. That's a real stat pattern. I never looked at both Russell Westbrook and Nikola Jokic as stat patterns. Those are two outstanding guys that pretty much are dominant at their respective positions. And right now, the way I look at it here is that Nikola Jokic right now, to me, is one of the top three front runners for MVP. Now, I do have Giannis and Antetokounmpo and Joel Embiid as the one and two people in the MVP race. But I wouldn't be hard pressed to tell you that there's a huge narrative and there's a huge case for Nikola Jokic to be MVP again for the third straight season because the Nuggets are the top team in the Western Conference currently. All right. They're having one of their best records in franchise history, right? And they are a legitimate championship contending team. So all these things into consideration, I think a lot of the time we tend to take things for granted of how spectacular these players are. And for people that say that a lot of that Jokic or Westbrook or Giannis are intentionally stat padding, all you have to deflect the mirror is if you think that they're stat padding, why can't your favorite player average a triple double? Because right now, Nikola Jokic is averaging a triple double right now. And see if you could try to get a triple double right now at this stage of your life. I dare you anyone to try to achieve that. Yeah, good luck with that. So some of it is justified, some of it is not. But for me, I respect Nikola Jokic's game, and I do really believe that he is legit. And for a guy who was a mid-second round pick, that's a huge thing because normally mid-second rounders are just players that are just looking to try to survive in the NBA or don't even have a chance to make an NBA roster. And for him to even play at this spectacular all-star level MVP caliber player, I mean, he has already achieved beyond people's expectations of him. So I really don't understand, you know, the overall hate. There are some elements there where there's some favoritism behind it, of course, but the overall hate, I don't understand it, and I choose not to understand it. I just look at things the way I see it, and I do believe that there's a good chance he might win his third MVP award. And I guarantee you this: when the MVP award is announced, and if Nikola Jokic wins it again for a third time, be prepared for all of the narratives surrounding him, and be prepared for all the favoritism and a lot of the hate that's going to come along with it. That's just the way it goes. So that's my overall assessment. But let me know what you think in the comment section below. What do you think is behind the Nikola Jokic hate, and why do you think that people despise him? Because I can't find another reason to despise him. But I want to know what you guys think. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. And with that, I'm out. Peace.